A random color guy in the parade. They went to location.
I'd like to welcome everybody to our annual Veterans Day ceremony. I'm Lucien Lefebvre, Vice Chairman of the Enfield Veterans Council and your MC for today's ceremony. I'd like to identify the dignitaries that are in our audience. When you hear your name called, if you could just stand so be recognized. We've got State Senator John Kissel. State Representative Carol Hall. State Representative Tom Arnone. Mayor Bob Crisati. Councilor Cindy Mangini. Councilor Marie Pisner. Councilor Nick Hopkins. Did John stick around? No, okay. All right. We'll now have Staff Sergeant Drake from the Connecticut Army National Guard place the wreath, followed by the national anthem performed by Grace Kozlowski. Did I do okay? Of Enfield High School. Round of applause for Grace. Sergeant Drake.
so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Grace. Great rendition. So now we're going to follow this up with the Enfield High School Band, conducted by Mrs. Ashley Shell, performing the medley of the U.S. military songs. And I will turn it over to Mrs. Shell.
Thank
hand for the Enfield High Band. Could I now have Mayor Crissati come up and for a few words?
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank the Enfield Veterans Council for inviting me to say a few words. It's an honor and a privilege to be here this afternoon. Once again, good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of the Town Council, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today to observe this very important holiday. We're here to thank the veterans that are here today and to remember all the veterans. In 1919, Enfield published a remembrance of World War I and held a ceremony right here on the green. At 9 a.m., there was a ringing of the church bells, the school and factory bells, followed by a parade of servicemen and other organizations, and also a clam bake. Went into the Historical Society archives to show the program. Before us, we have the World War II monument with 2,246 names inscribed. And down the street, the Soldiers Monument is now even more dominant against the landscape with the Strand and the Lamagna Center gone. I find it comforting to know that ceremonies and rituals still occur and that monuments are here to remember the veterans that we recognize today. It is the responsibility of all of us to ensure that the names and the stories of those who serve continue to be told so that future generations understand, respect, and honor them as well. Today, we honor all veterans. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you to the Enfield Veterans Council for today's parade and festivities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our chairman of the Enfield Veterans Council. Tony Torres is our guest speaker for the day.
Okay, thank you, Lucian, and thank you all for coming out on what started out as a beautiful day, but believe me, it's going to end up beautiful. Good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to, before I say anything else, I'd like to acknowledge that for 60 years, the Veterans Council has been putting together these parades in cooperation with the Enfield town government and all the town services, and it couldn't happen without their cooperation, so thank you all for that. First and foremost, I'd like to begin today by recognizing all those among us who have been a part of the great brotherhood and sisterhood we call the United States military. Our veterans, active duty service members, guardsmen, and reservists. Your service and sacrifice have kept our country safe and free. If you're able, please stand to be recognized. Like a hand for these good people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let us also take a moment to acknowledge those families of service members and veterans who helped shoulder the weight of war and the burdens of sacrifice. To the mothers, fathers, spouses, and children of our military men and women, thank you. Your love, support, and resilience are the backbone of this nation, and that must never be forgotten. Over a century ago, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the fighting of World War I ended in 1918. Due to the conclusion of the war to end all wars, November 11th became a universally recognized day of celebration. The day was originally declared Armistice Day 8 years after the end of World War I and honored only the veterans of that war. Then in 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, it was renamed Veterans Day to honor all veterans who served America in war and defended democracy. So, on November 11th, we honor all of our veterans who unselfishly placed their lives on the line for our freedom. Those men and women were ordinary people until they heard the call of duty and answered it. They left their families, their homes, and their lives, not for recognition or fame, or even the honor we bestow upon them today. They fought to protect our country, to maintain our way of life. As we honor our veterans and remember their great deeds, let us also salute those who are currently fighting for our freedom. The war on terrorism has helped us all realize how truly unique the American way of life is. The freedom we enjoy is extremely special, and that is why we must defend it. So, now it is time to not only honor those who have fought or are still fighting for our freedom, it is also the time for each of us to take part in protecting it. The defense of freedom is not just for those in the military. Each of us shares that duty and that responsibility. We don't have to join the Army or the Navy or any other organization of defense to actively defend our way of life. We can protect our freedom simply by maintaining it here in America. If we want to preserve our freedoms, we must put them into action. For example, by voting in elections or speaking out against injustices. We must also ensure that everyone feels the benefits of freedom. And we can do that by volunteering in our communities or teaching our children what it really means to be an American. Veterans Day isn't just for veterans. It's a day for all Americans. It's a day to remember why they were fighting, and a day for all of us to begin our journey of protecting our freedom and the freedom of many future generations. 104 years ago, on November 11th, 1918, the guns of the world fell silent. An armistice was signed and the Great War was over. Unfortunately, World War I was not the war to end all wars, as many had hoped. Veterans are not only responsible for defending this nation during time of war, but it is the imposing presence of our great military that has acted as a deterrent to would-be aggressors. The veterans of the United States military have not only fought wars, but they also deserve the gratitude for preventing them. Thank you for honoring our veterans today, and let us walk towards tomorrow, still honoring them by living in the freedom they protected. Thank you very much. God bless you all. God bless America. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you. Hopefully it wasn't too long.
Thank you, Tony. We'll now have the rifle volley by Post 154 Military Honors Team, followed by taps performed by members of the Anfield High School Band. Sergeant at Arms, prepare for the rifle salute. Thank you. I want to thank the Enfield High School Band for providing us with the medleys from the service songs, the buglers for playing the taps for us. And as always, whenever the Enfield Band performs, they make the town proud. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and God bless the United States of America.